Well, what I have here today is a 91 Chevy Beretta with a 3.1 liter V6. And the concern that the vehicle has is that it will run for a short period of time after you fire it up, and then it just act like it's starving for fuel and die. I've checked fuel pressure, that's within specification. I've checked spark, that's good. Everything else, I've installed the scan tool, there's no DTCs, and all the data looks great. And there's no security system on the vehicle that would cause anything like this. So what it's all really led to is that there's something wrong in the fuel injector system. Because the spark plugs are dry, so it's not flooding out or anything like that. It just acts like it's running out of fuel. Now, what I've done is I've taken a look at the wiring diagram, and this is a port fuel injection. I'm sorry if it doesn't focus great, but you can see here's my 6 injectors. They're running 2 banks, 2 sets of 3, 1, 3, and 6 on one, and 2, 4, and 6. I'm sorry, 1, 3, and 5, and then 2, 4, and 6. So what I have done is that back at the ECM, these 2 are my control wires going back to the ECM. It's a light blue and a light green. So what I've done is I have taken a ground wire just at the ECM and quickly pulse that to ground, and I can keep it running then. So it tells me that the ECM isn't liking what it's seeing, or is a bad ECM. I'm not sure. So but by grounding that real quickly, that basically holds the injectors open so that I can spray a huge amount of fuel on one bank. So what I want to show you today is how I can use Ohm's law to in automotive, that I can really apply this stuff. So one possibility is that I have a bad injector on one of these banks that is causing the ECM, basically low resistance or high resistance in one of the injectors. I forgot to tell you, one other thing I've done is I've checked all my powers and grounds to my ECM, voltage drop, the grounds, and the powers, and they are all in perfect condition. So getting back to the injector thing, what I want to do is I can check these banks of injectors, but as you can see here on the engine, I can't get underneath this plenum to each individual injector to get to it. But what I do have is a connector here. There you can see my wires that feed power and the control side of my injectors going back to the ECM. So one thing I need to know is each individual injector, what is the specification for resistance for each injector? Well, I looked it up in service information just on ShopKey, and I found that it should be 12 to 12.4 ohms each. So now I have to do some math, right? So here is my formula for total resistance in a parallel circuit, correct? So that says resistance total is 1 divided by the sum of each individual resistance. So what I figured out is what I want to know is what I should see if I measure from the pink and black, which is feeding these ones, coming around, and to the light green, and then also for the pink here to the dark green, or I'm sorry, back at the connector is going to be light blue and light green if I am at the ECM. So basically what each bank resistance should be is what I'm saying. So if I just figured it out here, if my spec is 12, 1 divided by 12 comes out to 0.083. Take 0.083 times 3 is 0.249. Divide that out, and that should, by 1 divided by 0.249 comes out to roughly 4 ohms. So that's what I should expect to see on each bank, somewhere around 4 ohms. Well, what I did is I just hooked in on the pink and black. See my adapters here, my terminal adapters to the pink and black and the light green. So that means I am checking this bank of injectors. And what does my meter read? It reads 1 ohm of resistance, switching from 0.9 to 1.0. That's a problem. That's telling me that I don't have the correct resistance. I probably have one bad injector in there, and that's caused it pulling the whole thing low. And which means if I don't have enough resistance, I'm flowing too much amperage through my ECM. ECMs don't like that. They will shut down. So what I'm going to do is pull this plenum off and get to these injectors, and then I can individually check each injector and see what the problem is. So that's what I wanted to show you today. Thanks.